Disclaimer: being on this street doesn't automatically make you a Slim Shady, and if you try too hard, you'll just look like white trash. Don't be a tryhard. How's it going, YouTube? If you enjoy my videos, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. In this video, I show you 8 Mile Road in its entirety. Along the way, I also show you the mobile home park where the movie 8 Mile was filmed. 8 Mile Road runs for nearly 42 miles in a continuous stretch. It's a long road, just like all the other mile roads that I've filmed. Many people think that the parts of Detroit around 8 Mile are the worst parts because of the movie. The worst parts of Detroit are definitely more centered around 5, 6, and 7 Mile, with an exception of a small area that borders 8 Mile. Make sure to check out my playlist of Detroit's mile roads to check out more on that. Anyway, we do start out in Grosse Pointe Woods, which is home to 15,000 residents with a median household income of $97,000 per year. And just like that, we're on the border of St. Clair Shores and Harper Woods. St. Clair Shores is home to 59,000 people, down from a 1970 peak population of 88,000. Harper Woods is home to 14,000 people, which is also down from a 1970 peak population of 20,000. Harper Woods has a violent crime rate of 936 for every 100,000 residents, which isn't great at all. St. Clair Shores, on the other hand, is a very safe place with the property crime and violent crime rates well below average. At this point, 8 Mile Road connects with M102. To the south side of the road, on the left, is the Eastland Center Mall, which is within the Harper Woods city limits. The Eastland Center Mall hung on for a while before losing several anchor stores, starting with Macy's in 2017. The Eastland Center Mall has been a hotspot for violent crimes as well, as the Detroit neighborhood just west of the mall's property has been labeled by Detroit police as the most dangerous part of the city. The area that is labeled as the most dangerous is bounded by Kelly Road to the east, 8 Mile to the north, Shaner to the west, and 7 Mile to the south. But between October 2014 and December 2015, a total of 2,770 gunshots were reported. Remember that 8 Mile isn't necessarily in Detroit, as it serves as the boundary line between Detroit and its inner ring suburbs to the north. If you want to see some areas that are completely inside the Detroit city limits, I encourage you to check out my 5, 6, and 7 Mile videos. I also encourage you to drop a like to help support the channel, as making these videos does cost a certain amount of money and time. Eastpointe is a suburb on the north side of the road, which is to the right side, and has a population of 32,000, which is down from a 1970 peak population of 46,000. This is something that I didn't realize was on the camera lens until after uploading it to my computer later. Looks like we've got some mom spaghetti. It doesn't stay on here for very long though. On the right is a mix of vacant and occupied commercial buildings. To the north of us is the city of Warren. The violent crime rate is 509 per every 100,000 residents, and the property crime is below average. The population is 134,000, making it Detroit's largest suburb, and that's down from a peak population of 179,000 in 1970. To the south, several blocks, is the Dresden Street address that Eminem used to live at. During his teenage years, Eminem would split time between that home and another one a mile or so north in Warren. He attended Lincoln High School in Warren, which is a mile north once we come across Van Dyke later. Make sure to drop a like for that amazing insight. And it looks like finally we have the mom spaghetti off the camera lens. So that's good. This is the Bel Air Shopping Center, which is referenced in Eminem's song called Yellow Brick Road. The shopping center was purchased by local billionaire Matty Maroon in 2019. The shopping center is less than 50% occupied, but the Bel Air Cinema is still going strong on a lease that doesn't expire for over 10 years. Other than that, this shopping center has seen better days. Up ahead is some more railroad tracks and Mound Road. Mound Road parallels the railroad tracks due north and south, stretching from Utica to the north and the inner-city Detroit neighborhoods further south. You can think of it as a 13-mile long and a half-mile wide industrial corridor. You have assembly plants, warehouses, and offices lining the whole stretch. Oh yes, and we all know what this is. This is the trailer park that was used to film the movie 8 Mile. The movie was released in late 2001 and became an instant classic. Eminem never lived in this particular trailer park though, and if you missed where I mentioned that he has lived earlier, make sure to rewind the video. This trailer park is not called the 8 Mile Mobile Court either. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe for that amazing insight. The neighborhoods located off of 8 Mile directly to the south and the Detroit city limits start to get better from this point, continuing west, and do not suffer from the extreme violent crime rates that we saw further back in the video. Hazel Park is to the north and has an average crime rate. About 16,000 people live in Hazel Park, which is down from a 1970 peak population of 23,000. Neither the neighborhoods to the north or the south on this stretch of 8 Mile are all that bad. They're actually both pretty good. In Detroit is the Green Acres, Sherwood Forest, and Palmer Woods neighborhoods, and to the north is Ferndale. Ferndale recently has become a hotspot for real estate and has a popular night scene. It's also the center place for gay pride here in Metro Detroit. Now to the north is Royal Oak Charter Township, which is completely separate from Royal Oak City. They just need to rename this place to avoid confusion. Royal Oak Charter Township suffers from a high rate of poverty and crime as well. The rest of the stretch of 8 Mile continuing west from here is littered with a mixture of sketchy motels and other commercial operations. Not all of them are sketch, but a vast majority of them are, and it's very unfortunate, but some of these motels have had prostitution problems in the past. And now to the north is Oak Park. Oak Park is home to 29,000 and is also a safe community. The median household income is $49,000 per year and housing is very affordable. Not a bad place to buy if all you're looking for is a place that's affordable and safe. The city of Southfield is to the north. Also directly to the north is the site of the former Northland Center. Northland Center was opened in 1954 with the support of, at the time, the successful J.L. Hudson Company. Upon opening, the Northland Center was the largest shopping mall in the world, another sign of Detroit's former presence as one of America's largest cities. The Northland Center was enclosed in 1974. However, following the national trend of online shopping outcompeting everything else, the Northland Center closed in 2015. The mall was purchased by the city and has been demolished since then. Southfield tried to propose the property to Amazon for their second headquarters, as it's conveniently located by the Lodge and Southfield freeways, but obviously Amazon wasn't interested in the Detroit area. Now on to talking about Southfield, as it's home to 72,000 people. The median household income is $54,000 per year. Along with Oak Park, Southfield is more affordable than other expensive suburbs as housing is cheaper and the crime rate is still lower than average. Southfield is also home to many offices, as over 100 Fortune 500 companies have a presence in the city. Over 34,000 people work in Southfield. If you move here and your job is located in Southfield, you might as well live here too and make life easier on yourself with a shorter commute. This stretch of 8 Mile really is a mix of blue-collar and scrappy ghetto-ness. On the Southfield side, you see some blue-collar neighborhoods. On the Detroit side of 8 Mile, on this stretch, there are several strip clubs to go out and get your freak on. However, one of the strip clubs was investigated for practicing prostitution and was ordered to shut down for a year. Most of the other crime that you see in this part of Detroit, however, is property crime and not violent crime. From this point on, 8 Mile no longer serves as the boundary for Detroit and the northern suburbs. Currently, Redford is to the south and Southfield is still to the north. Redford has a peak population of 72,000 in 1970, while today it is home to only 47,000. There again goes the disappearing of cars. So weird how it keeps happening to me. As a kid, I lived not too far from here for a short time. I've lived in 5 states growing up, and I used to tell everyone that I lived not far from 8 Mile for a status boost as I moved around, and I wasn't lying. It worked more often than not. The truth is, though, that this part of 8 Mile isn't terrible. It is a tiny little bit sketch, and it is in close proximity to some of the more sketch areas in Detroit, but nothing like the areas that we saw in the beginning parts of this video, or like the other mile roads in the Detroit city limits. Make sure to drop a like for that amazing insight. To the north is Farmington Hills, home to 80,000 people and has a median household income of $81,000 per year. Livonia is to the south, home to 94,000 people and has a median household income of $77,000 per year. Home prices in Livonia are more affordable than in Farmington Hills, but both places are good places to settle down if you're looking to start a family. Every suburb that we encounter from this point on are among the safest cities in Michigan and in the country. And the areas around 8 Mile are so bad, right? I mean, Livonia, Farmington Hills, $81,000 per year median income, $77,000 per year median income. The economy is so bad. Why would you ever want to live here? Ugh. And now to the north is the city of Novi, another awful suburb, home to 61,000 people with a median household income of $92,000 per year. That is horrible. While Northville Township to the south is home to 29,000 people with an even worse median household income of $112,000 per year. Man, that... Don't want to live here. Make sure to drop a like for that amazing insight on the Detroit suburbs. I was obviously being sarcastic about the comments being made about the Detroit suburbs earlier. I just see so many people saying that the Detroit suburbs are starting to be like the city of Detroit. Yeah, sure, okay. Anyway, we're now in Northville, and Northville Township, tomato, same thing. Don't try to argue with me because you're wrong. I just won the argument. Now go make me a sandwich. We are now reaching the final stretches of suburbia. Lyon Township to the north is one of Oakland County's fastest growing areas. If you're an upcoming home buyer and you're all about buying a home that was built here in the past few years, look here. Lyon Township has more newer home construction than any other Oakland County community. It is interesting to note that back in the lumberjack and caveman days when Michigan was being surveyed, the east and west line that 8 Mile Road runs on is actually along the same straight imaginary line that was drawn east and west throughout the entire state of Michigan. The imaginary line serves as the border for each county along its path from east to west through Michigan, and for that reason some people refer to 8 Mile Road as Baseline Road in these parts, even though it's still called 8 Mile on the local addresses. The road obviously isn't continuous throughout the whole stretch of the imaginary line. It is broken up in sections along the way, however, and in other parts of the state, it is called Baseline Road. Make sure to drop a like because we all know that that is the most amazing knowledge that you've gained all day. Well, there you have it, guys. The entire 42-mile stretch of 8 Mile Road from the hoods of Detroit to Hilljack territory. If you enjoy my videos, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time that I post new and amazing content just like this video. We'll see you next time. Peace.